Hello my friends and welcome to Craft Night. We are going to be making some ornaments or things that you can hang around your house to celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday you celebrate. So to get started, I'm going to start with the Christmas one, and we're going to do a background. So this chunk here, if we hold these in our hand for a few minutes, it will start to soften up. This is called Sculpey, and it's a plastic polymer that is going to get hard once we put it in the oven and cook it. So we're going to take this, and you can see mine's already getting soft. I'm going to roll it into a ball, and then you're going to take that ball, give it a little squish with your finger, and take a marker or a rolling pin or whatever you have on hand to roll these out. I happen to have a little rolling pin here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Check your Play-Doh sets if you've got one of those. You roll it for a little bit, pick it up, and turn it, because when we roll it in one direction, it's going to make an oval. So we want to turn it so that when we roll it again, it will start to make a circle. And we're just going to keep rolling, pick it up, turn it. Pick it up slowly. We kind of peel it off the table. You're going to want to make sure that your table is really clean and you have no crumbs or anything, because the clay will pick all of those up. I'm working on a piece of poster board, which is working just fine. So notice how I keep picking it up and turning it. Now I've got it pretty thin. You can see the thickness of it. And that's going to work really nicely. I just want to make sure it's a nice circle so I can pull it a little. It's nice and soft. Pull out any of those flat edges. Make it look nice and round. And now, you can see I picked up some of the other colors on my tag board. That's okay. So now I have the background made for my ornament or wall hanging or decoration, however you plan on using it. And now we're going to take our red and white and we're going to make some candy canes. So again, put those in your hand for a few minutes, let them soften up using the heat from your hands, and then we are going to roll these. So I'm taking my little block and I'm going to roll it forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. And you can see I'm starting to get a little tube, and I'm just going to keep working it. And it's going to get skinnier and it's going to get longer. Forwards and backwards. There we go. It's growing and it's getting thinner. I want to keep going. I want a pretty long snake here. Now as soon as it's bigger than your hand, we're going to start using 2 fingers. And we start in the middle, 2 or 3, and we roll our way out to the edge. Okay, start in the middle. Roll our way out to the edge. Oh, our snake is getting really long now. If you notice any areas that are a little bit thicker than others, you can take those and just smooth those little areas out. I notice the ends are kind of running together. All right, now I have one long snake, so I'm going to set that aside and get working on my red. Soften it up a little bit with your hand. It may take you a little longer than me. I have hot hands right now. You can also rub your hands together to get them warmer, just like we do in our mindful moments. And then we can hold this and that will make them soften up a little faster. And then we're going to take that rectangle and roll it forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Scoot this up a little so you can see. Forwards and backwards. And now it's getting longer than my hand, so I'm going to start with 2 fingers from each hand and start in the middle, rolling forwards and backwards, and I'm going to scoot my way out to the edge. If it takes you longer to do this, pause the video, roll out your snake, and then restart it when you need to. Like I said, I've got pretty hot hands right now, so this clay is kind of melting in my hands. All right, now we have our red snake and our white snake. We are going to pinch them together at one end, little pinch. And then we are going to start to make a candy cane. So I pull my left snake over my right snake, and then I'm going to Straighten that out. Give it a little twist. We're going to twist it all the way down. Twisting. I'm actually rolling that snake with the white piece over it, rolling it up, and we're getting our candy cane effect. All right. Now we can twist this up a little bit more to make it look more like a candy cane. So I'm rolling one hand forward and the other hand backward in order to get that nice, tight candy cane. You can even just hold it with one hand and roll your other hand backward. I'm going to give it a little pinch at the end. I'm going to pinch here to make it stick to my paper and not unroll. Now, I'm going to give it a little press down, because I really want those two colors to stick together and not come untwisted. So if we give it a little press, we can make them stick together. Now we're going to use any sort of a straight edge. You may have like a butter knife or just something straight to cut it. I happen to have these little cutters, so I'm just going to cut the end off to make it nice and flat. And then I'm going to measure against my background. We're going to put a letter on these. So you could put the first name of your family. My last name is Stone, so I could put an S here. Or you could put an R for Rogers. So I'm just going to start with that S. If I were going to do an S, you could start at the top or bottom, it doesn't matter. And we're just going to form that letter. Now you can see where it ends, and we're going to leave a little bit of room up here, and you can take a pencil, or I have a skewer here, and we're going to put a little hole in the top, and that's so that we can hang it. So we want to make sure we have some room for that hole under or right above our letter, and make sure it goes all the way through. If you have a straw, that works great. So I've got my hole, and now I'm just going to form my letter. So I could do an S this way, and you can even use scissors for this if you want. You can put a pair of scissors in and cut them with scissors. That's a great way to seal these up. So if I were going to do an S ornament, I could leave it just like this, and I would press it into my green to sort of flatten it even more and make the green, the red, and the white stick together. Now if you wanted to do an R, it's a little bit trickier, but not so hard that you can't do it. Everybody can do that. So we could put a straight line here. And I'm going to give it just a little press. You can use your scissors to cut right here. I'm going to squish it down a teeny bit. Now I've already got a little rope here, so I can put that R on. That's a little bit too long, so I need to trim it. All right. Now I have a P shape, right? I have that long line. I have the big curve, and I'm going to push this into my green background. And then I need that straight piece that comes off the R. Okay, push that into the green background, and I'm going to cut it nice and even with this side here with my scissors. Right, there's my green R ornament. Now I noticed that my letter got placed a little bit crooked. Not a problem. We just need a bigger hole. Artists are magicians. We talk about this all the time. We make a mistake, we can fix it. I don't even have to change my whole letter. I just have to adjust the hole. And that is our ornament or our wall hanging. All right, now for the other letter, if you celebrate Hanukkah or winter solstice or any sort of winter-based holidays, we have blue and white. So for the background, we need to mix colors in order to make a different color blue so that our letter pops off the background. So I'm going to take two colors here, blue and white. I'm going to rub my hands to make them hot again. Soften up my two colors. And then I'm going to mix them. So we're just kind of smushing them together and smushing. And right now you can see we're getting some stripes. And pretty soon it will turn a light blue. The colors will blend together. The blue and the white will blend together to make a really pretty light blue. We're just going to keep pushing it. You can pull it a little, smush it back together. You want to keep just smushing it up. That's really the best word I can think of. I keep trying to blend these stripes. Now you could leave these like this. This is that marble effect, and that's really pretty. So if you wanted to stop now and leave that marbled effect, you could roll it into a ball and start rolling out your background. You can see how pretty that is. I'm going to keep mixing it so you can see how it turns light blue as we keep working it. It blends together more and more. And you can stop any time that you like the way it looks. There we go. Now notice how I keep sort of folding it on top of itself. That helps bring those colors from the inside to the outside and the outside to the inside. And now we've got a pretty well blended light blue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll that ball again. I just roll my hand in a circle over the clay until we get a nice ball shape. And you can always just use your fingers or the table if you have any lumps and bumps like I do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're going to take our rolling pin. Crayola markers work really well for this because they're nice and flat. And we're going to roll back and forth a little bit. You can see I still have a little bit of marbling, but I'm going to leave that. Pick it up and turn it to the side and roll it again. Now we're starting to see it come into a circle. And I have a little air bubble in here. That's okay. We'll get rid of that. Pick it up. Roll it again. Picking it up also helps it not stick to whatever you're working on. All right, that's a pretty good shape. So this circle here is going to be about the same size as your hand. I have really large hands, so you can see it's a little small, but for your hand it should cover all the way from this bend here of your thumb all the way up to where your fingers bend, all the way to the bottom of your hand to the edge. That's a good size. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the hole in first this time. I like to do it on the thickest side, which is here. Put my hole in. Like I said, you can use whatever you have handy. You can use a pencil, you can use a skewer like I did, you could use a toothpick. A straw works really great because you just poke it in and it pulls out a hole for you. Okay, now for the blue and white, we're going to create a rope just like we did before. So I'm going to soften these up in my hand. And while this white is a little bit harder than the blue, so while the white is softening up, I'm going to start rolling the blue a little back and forth. Forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Now when it's wider than my hand, I need to use two hands. Start in the middle and roll our way out. And our snake is getting longer and skinnier. See how skinny it's getting? And you can see how long it is. Now look how long it is compared to my hand. So we'll try it again in the middle. Starting in the middle, I can use 3 fingers now. And I'm going to roll my way, and as I roll back and forth, I'm moving my hands to the outside. And that is stretching my snake. Now you can see it's a little thinner here than it is here, so I'm just going to roll this side for a few minutes to make that even. And that looks great. This white is soft. We're going to roll that to get another snake. And if your hands are dirty like mine and you get a little bit of blue, it's okay, because by the time we roll this out, it will be back to white. And nobody's going to notice against the blue background anyway. All right, so this is getting wider than my hand again. 2 hands, 2 fingers. Oops, sorry about that. Starting in the middle, rolling, work our way out, rolling, work our way out. Ooh, that one came out really great. So now we'll do the same thing we did before. It doesn't matter which color is on top, so I have blue on top this time. we are going to pinch the two edges. Try not to let your two snakes touch because they're going to want to stick together right now. They're soft and they're a little sticky. So I keep my two snake legs apart, pinch them at the top, and then roll that blue leg over. Now we can start to roll this up. I'm just rolling it backwards, or rolling it towards the back of my workspace. And now I've got a decent snake. Now I'm going to pinch them at the bottom, and then I'm going to twist them. So my one hand is going to twist backwards, and my other hand is going to twist forwards. You can, or you could just hold it with one hand and twist the other hand, and you'll notice that our rope gets nice and tight. All right, stick it back down to your table or work surface. We're going to squish it a little bit. It's a little loosey-goosey here. If you notice that it needs an extra twist in just one section, go ahead and pinch it and then twist it, and then it should smooth out a little. There we go. I'm going to press this down just to make our blue and white officially stick together, and I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to measure, and maybe we'll do a B for Berkeley this time in case you wanted to try a different letter. So I'm going to go ahead and put that big line here, and it's okay if it falls off the bottom a little, that's all right. And then I'm going to cut another nice chunk for the top of my B. And I'm going to turn it into a curve. Now, if it's easier for you to work this way like it was for me, that's great. Turn your ornament. If it's easier for you to work this way so you can see your letter straight on, that's great too. Everybody works differently. Okay, there's one. And if you were going to do an R, we would just add that short leg again. Or if you wanted to do a B, we would use a longer leg. And we would attach that from the bottom back up to the top, and then push that in. I'm going to change this back to an R this time. And you can see I have a teeny bit hanging off here, so I'm just going to trim that with my scissors. Okay. Now I'm going to press it in one more time. Make sure everything is stuck down. And we have these little bits left over now for our ornaments. So you could, if you wanted to, do something with them. You could make like a little decoration for yours. You know, maybe we take that and turn it into a little ball. If you just pinch the two ends together, we get a little ball. We could put that there. That's kind of cute. We still want our letter to be the main focus, though, so don't schmutz it up with too much stuff. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. So we could do something like that. That's kind of cute. Or we could just leave it as is. All right, I have put my ornaments onto a cookie sheet or a baking sheet with a little bit of foil. You could also use parchment paper. I've also included a quarter here just so you can see this, how big I made my ornaments for scale when we talk about scale, and we talk about how big something is compared to something else. So you can see my quarter is right here, and my ornament is about 3/4 tall. So it's a really nice size. I'm going to put this in the oven at 275 degrees for 15 minutes, and then we'll take it out and add some string. All right, I have cooked these now at 275 degrees for 15 minutes, and they definitely feel different. They are heavier, they are hard like plastic. You can see that they are not squishy at all. I can't peel them apart. Don't try to, because that could break them. But they are well constructed and ready to be hung and displayed wherever you want to hang them. So we could put a pipe cleaner through them. And remember, when we're doing pipe cleaners, we do bunny ears. So we crisscross and then we twist, twist, twist. And there's one way we can hang these. We could also tie a little string through them. And we could hang these this way as well. So if you celebrate Hanukkah, which is traditionally blue and white, you could hang this near your celebrations. You could put it on the table. You could put it near your menorah. You can put this anywhere that you would like to display these. All right, my friends, have fun at craft night. I can't wait to hear how your ornaments and wall hangings turn out.